So I wanted to do this video to explain what this loneliness epidemic is leading into over the next year or so. And the issue I'm wanting to explain is men can only look at what they can't have for so long before they take it by force. So loneliness has been dealt with by coping by the most of the male race. Video games, TV shows, porn, drunkenness, drugs, whatever. So men have been coping, almost like they're in a waiting room. What should we do with ourselves while the family culture disintegrates and women, enjoy themselves with the minority of the male race? So men have kind of been in this limbo, and the manosphere is kind of men crying out to women, say, look, show us as a species some compassion because of the loneliness. And women have been it's clear that women as a species are like, well, no, we're not really gonna back down. We're happy with our standards. We're happy with our lifestyle. So this whole issue has been going on for a while, but there's only so long that that negotiations can go on for before there can be diplomacy coming to an end. And over the next year or so, I can see that we're going to go in. That loneliness is going to move on from coping to aggression. So I am confident over the next year or so, as the financial situation gets worse, family culture is going to be invaded by gang culture, and the loneliness epidemic is going to be giving way to lawlessness, and at the heart of that, an epidemic of rape. So I think we're moving away from a loneliness epidemic into a rape epidemic. We're moving from loneliness to lawlessness. Moving from men saying, please have sex with us, to women saying, please stop having sex with us. Men's inactivity and passivity is beginning to pass. So the diplomacy stage is going to begin to fall away, and men are going to begin to flood to gangs. There will be more and more break-ins, theft, burglary, that kind of thing. So crime is going to go a lot higher, and there's going to be a new kind of a culture that's emerging over the next year or so. And at the moment, women are saying, well, we don't feel safe on the streets at night. We don't feel safe on the streets, but soon women will be saying, we don't feel safe in our homes, not just on the street, but in our homes. So there's going to be a progression. The manosphere has looked to try and negotiate, but that negotiation phase is kind of fizzling. It's not really been taken seriously by women, or by government, or by businesses, or anything really. It's just kind of been brushed aside, demonized, but it was, I believe, a legitimate way to try and negotiate a kind of an improvement on the relations between men and women. Women have been unwilling to back down, and as I said, governments, businesses, and such like have not really taken the issue seriously, or have been wanting to stamp out the manosphere. Quieten people like Andrew Tate, quieten down people like Byron and the Better Bachelor. They don't want those guys to be listened to. They don't want those guys to be taken seriously. But when it really comes down to it, the manosphere was um, for a good purpose, but unfortunately it's coming to that stage now where really it's not been successful, and things are going to progress in a more dark direction, unfortunately.